Today, I'm going to tell you a story. But this is completely excessive, and I know that. I want to fix that. So today I want to tell you a story. It's about me, it's meaningful, but before we get started, let me give you a little bit of context. So this year, I turned 40 years old. And as you've seen, those of you that know me and have followed along on Instagram, we've seen some amazing things this year. We both have full-time jobs. Aaron is the grown adult human in the relationship, and I think I stopped growing when I was 12 years old. Me and Aaron worked really hard for everything we have, and you see, I didn't have a really healthy childhood. Both of my parents worked really hard, but we didn't have a lot of things. We had what we needed, and that was enough. You see, I grew up in Oak Cliff, a small neighborhood in Dallas, just southwest of downtown. It's an amazing, hardworking, independent community, and I take a lot of pride being from there. And now I live in Fort Worth, but I'll always just be that kid from Oak Cliff. So the story really starts when I was 12 years old. So it was 1991. This was the year of Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit came out. Metallica's Black album dropped. But more importantly, A Tribe Called Quest released an album with the song Scenario on it, which introduced the world to Busta Rhymes. And by world, I mean me. But out of all that, the most memorable thing to me is I got my first bicycle. You see, I never had a bike before that. I was always that one kid walking in a group of kids that were on bikes until I got my own. And it was a Huffy, and I called it the Huffinator. And me and this bike went everywhere. I had the freedom to travel further and faster than I ever had. I was finally on a bike with my group of friends until Huff died. Let me explain. Most of you that know me, I tend to be rough on things. Everything is a canvas. I write on everything. I manhandle everything. Everything's a tool. And I was just as hard on the Huff. This can be best illustrated in my two favorite memories with the Huffinator. The first one, we went to a friend's house who had a trampoline. We were all jumping on the trampoline. I got the wind knocked out of me, passed out, woke up. Everybody was gone. And this friend lived probably 2 blocks away from home, but it felt like miles. And so I jumped on my bike, had the saddest ride of shame of my life, got home, but the Huff got me there. And that was memory number 1. Memory number 2 revolves around the Huff's final moments. And there was a park in my neighborhood we go to, Weiss Park. So we'd ride our bike down the creek beds, jump, get some air, land safely. It was great. I came down full Excite Bike style on the front tire, completely bent the frame, and his days were numbered. So I had to drag the Huff home, I don't know, probably a few blocks, but that day the forks were busted. It wasn't something we could really afford. Like I said, we didn't have a whole lot, so the Huff kind of sat in the garage for a while until he was eventually gone. And that was my time with bikes. I was 12 years old. I had 2 months. It was great. I appreciate those 2 months. So I think at this point in the story, I'll stop a month ago, April 2019. Jason, you look so tall in this frame. You look like a giant. See, last month, me, Jason, and Aaron went on a PCT road trip. We call it that because Jason does a PCT hike. This will be his 3rd time doing it. We flew into San Francisco, drove our way down to San Diego. Me and Jason hiked day 1, and then we flew back home, and Jason's still on the trail. I think he's somewhere a little bit south of LA right now, so he's making good progress. But on the way down, we were able to pass through Irvine, and we had the opportunity to stop by Super 73's headquarters, which, by the way, I didn't know you had to schedule a time. I just saw they accepted visitors, and we showed up, and they were great about it. But if you go, make sure you let them know beforehand. And Super 73 makes the best e-bikes on the market right now. You may have seen Casey Neistat riding them, Sam Sheffer. I forget who else, but they're kind of all over the place. And it's something I've been interested in for a while. And Christine met us at the door. We met John. We chatted up with Bryce for a while. I rode a couple of bikes. And it was really great. We were there for like an hour and a half. Everyone was super friendly. Their hospitality was outstanding. So after spending some time there, we got back on the road, headed south, and we finished up our trip a few days later. So shortly after that trip, I turned 40 years old. And what I didn't know is that Aaron planned a very special birthday party for me at Free Play Arcade. And it couldn't have been more perfect. It was an absolutely amazing mix of people. And I think everyone had a great time. I know I did. And to everyone that showed up, thank you. You mean the world to me. I love you. Thank you for making me feel special. And to all the kids that came out, I love you all. You mean the world to me, and you guys are my favorites. Back to the whole bike thing. There is a point to this, I promise. So Aaron's really good at gifts, not just giving people stuff, but something that's really meaningful. And this is something that I've been fortunate enough to experience. I've learned a lot from her by her gift giving. And this year, she nailed it. And this year, Aaron got me a bike. See, it's been 28 years since the Huff shuffled off his, I guess, aluminum frame, and I'm back on a bike.